If you want another video of Angkor Wat, just like going through a temple or something, you'll have to go to another video, you have to click away. I'm not going to do that because there's millions of them already going through all the temples. But the thing that struck me when I got here was just driving around into Angkor Wat, into the area from Siem Reap, and just how nice it is. You know, the actual place really is amazing. So I thought what I'll do, I'm going to pop the camera on and I'm just going to drive from here in the middle of Siem Reap down into Angkor Wat, and just the views, the drive, it really is amazing. I'm going to do the little loop. There's like two loops, a big loop and the little loop. The big loop is more just kind of through Cambodian countryside. It's interesting to see, but it'd be a long video, so I'm not going to do that. I'll do a little loop just going around Angkor Wat, around the area, and you'll see all the temples are dotted around, and it'll give you an idea of the actual scale of the place. That's what really struck me that I hadn't got from YouTube videos. So I'll try and put it across, see how it goes. I'll do it relatively unedited, so you might have to click through if it'll put it on double speed or something. But yeah, hopefully you'll be able to get an idea of what the place is actually like, maybe before coming, or maybe you just want to see. So yeah, I'm going to pop the camera on here and just get driving. So I'm starting here in the middle of Siem Reap. There's like a royal palace or royal residence. Yeah, and see how it goes. So let's get driving. I'm going to put timestamps at the bottom of the video in the description, and I think where I actually get into Angkor Wat, into the temple complex, that'll be about 4 minutes. So if you want to skip through to that, you can do. Yeah, so at first you just see me driving out of the city. This is all, it's like a royal palace or royal residence around here. There's a lot of really nice buildings and big luxurious hotels. Obviously Angkor Wat's the main tourist attraction in the country, so all the roads around here are very nice, everything's well maintained. It's just generally a nice area, nice city in Siem Reap. So this road is called Prince Sihanouk Avenue. I think that means Prince Sihanouk Avenue. It's just one big long road from Siem Reap straight into Angkor Wat, so you can't really miss it. If you look at the map, it's just the road going north. It's just a big, long, straight road, which you'll see here. So yeah, I'm just going to drive along here, and the first stop I'll make will be when I have to give my ticket for the Angkor Wat. So you have to actually get your ticket before you go into the complex itself. And there's a big ticket centre, which is actually a right turn before you get in. But yeah, you can buy them online as well. But yeah, that's the first stop that you'll see me make. If you're going to be driving when you're here, I found generally the roads were alright, like not too bad. In this area, obviously they're very good, and especially the roads going into Angkor Wat, but even just everywhere around Cambodia, I found the roads to be okay. And they were made okay mainly because there's not much traffic. This is like one of the busiest places I saw, obviously excluding Phnom Penh. So yeah, it's really not too bad to drive here. So yeah, I'm just going to pull in here to give the ticket for Angkor Wat. So when you get to the end of this road, this is where you're pulling into the actual Angkor Wat complex, so the whole sort of temple complex. And the first thing you'll see, this water here, this is actually the moat for the Angkor Wat temple, which will give you an idea of the size of the temple. I mean, so the moat of the next temple, the Bayon Temple, is actually bigger, but the thing I noticed was that the Angkor Wat temple takes up most of the land inside the moat, whereas on a lot of the others, the temple is relatively small compared to the size of the moat. But yeah, this is just huge. It's like kilometers long to go around. Yeah, you'll be able to see on the other side, I think you'll be able to see some buildings in a minute. You'll start to see the actual temples. A lot of people here getting like tuk-tuk tours. Pretty much all the tuk-tuks in the city, they'll try and sell you tours of Angkor Wat, and they'll just give you a day tour. And I suppose if you wanted to do it that way, it's probably not a bad way of doing it. You'll get a bit of local knowledge. I actually thought the best way to get around would be on a bike, like a bicycle. And there's quite a few people cycling around, so then you'll see everything. It's all very flat, obviously, with all the water around. So yeah, that's a good way of getting around. But there's loads of ways you could do it, though. You could do there's bus tours as well. There's all sorts of guided tours. And if you wanted to follow a guided tour, I suppose it's not too bad. Buildings in the distance there on the right, that is Angkor Wat. That's the actual temple. It's absolutely enormous when you go in. It's quite a long walk as well from the car parks. You see the car parking in a minute ahead, and then you can walk in there where the gates are. And luckily, where all the car parking is, there's also loads of food, drinks, lots of things for sale. They'll sell you sort of trousers as well, so you have to cover up. You have to wear shorts or jeans or something that go below your knees, and you have to cover your shoulders as well. And there's plenty of places selling clothes to make sure that you're following the rules. And yeah, all these buildings on the right, they're all food and drinks places. So yeah, you've got everything you need here. Get an idea of the size of the place by how much I'm having to speed up and cut out, because I mean it's just enormous, the actual temples. But yeah, that was Angkor Wat. Now I'm going to keep driving and we're going to go towards the Bayon Temple next, which has its own moat as well. It's got like another moat, so we're just going to drive away from Angkor Wat. And you'll see as well there's other buildings sort of scattered around in between. And now we're just going to cross the bridge over the moat to the Bayon Temple, and you'll notice obviously all these all the guards to the gate. Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. This road leads down towards the Bayon Temple, which you'll see in a second. And again, it's just a long straight road. Amazing trees as well, all the way around. The trees were amazing. Yeah, the Bayon, in some ways, this was sort of just as spectacular as Angkor Wat, kind of because you can see it all. It's a lot more open around here, so you can really see the whole thing. And obviously you can walk in, all the temples you can just park up and walk in and have a look around. I find, I'm not really into temples that much, and it's more that they're just ruins of temples. But yeah, once you've seen a few of them, it did get a little bit repetitive, because they are all very similar. And there's not too much about the meaning of them, like, I don't know if it's actually known or not. There's not that much information around. But it was interesting still just to sort of stop off and walk around. And it told you there were signs with like the age of them, and there was a few things with the information, but just not that much. One of the things that really surprised me was, if you look around, so on the left in a minute, you'll see all the rocks and stones that are just kind of left there. They're not part of the Bayon Temple, they're not part of any temple. Just sort of rocks and stones from all the ruins from over the years. I mean, there's no signs to say where they're from or anything. And there's just so much that's kind of unaccounted for. So there's all the temples that you would have heard of, but then there's so much here to see that if you sort of go around slowly, you'll see all these bits that are just, just unaccounted for. I mean, here on the right, I'm not sure what that is. There's no signs up or anything. You can go and have a look at it. But yeah, it's just part of an old temple that's not there anymore. And yeah, it just kind of makes you realise how much there is here because of the amount that's not accounted for. Yeah, they're just kind of everywhere. And if you look around as I'm driving past, you'll spot there's plenty of other little bits. you'll probably soon realise you couldn't see it all in 3 days. But again, I had a 3-day ticket, and like I said, it does get a little bit repetitive, just to be seeing the same thing again and again. But it is amazing at the same time. This is actually an active temple, it's not an ancient one at all. There's people coming in here to pray and things. You'll notice the kids, in a minute, they wanted me to rev the bike up, but I wasn't sure that the adults would have appreciated that, so I didn't.
Not here.
This is just the exit to the Bayon Temple complex. So back over another bridge, it looks the same as the other one. I think there's 4 of them, 4 of the entrances and exits, and they're all kind of the same.
Stop briefly to show you this. Just randomly at the side of the road. I mean, there's no signs or anything. That's the crazy thing here. There's no, a lot of these things, there's no signs, there's not even got names, it's just, they're just here. There's just so much of it. It's not even part of any tours or anything. It's just like little tunnels underneath them. Trees growing on them. Yeah, I don't know what that is. So let's carry on. It's like a mini suspension bridge over there as well. It's pretty cool. I don't know what for.
Notice as I drive around as well, there's a lot of normal sort of life going on. So although this is like a tourist area, and obviously you have to pay to get in as a tourist, there are Cambodians that live here. There are schools, hospitals, all sorts in this sort of Angkor Wat area. So it is still a normal sort of place where people live and just live their lives. So you will notice a lot of normal activity going on. And it's amazing that they're just living amongst all the ruins. I mean, you'll see there's like walls, and there's, obviously all the temples and rocks just sort of scattered around. And yeah, it's just a normal place where people have lived for thousands of years, obviously. So yeah, it's interesting in that sense as well. Show you here, this is as you drive into pretty much all of the temples all have their own car park, and then there'll be like food sellers, people trying to sell souvenirs, all those kinds of things. So it's quite convenient. Everything's been made easy for you. There's like parking areas. So yeah, they're all kind of like this one that you can see. This war went on for absolutely ages. It was just enormous, and it was, considering the age of it, I mean, all this is about 1100 years old, so considering the age, it's very well preserved. I don't think this has been put back together. So a lot of the temples have been rebuilt. They've been kind of reconstructed, but I would imagine the walls have just been left. I can't see them going to the effort of doing this. So it is in very good condition considering the age. You see some bits where it fell down. So yeah, I'm guessing if they were going to reconstruct it, they would have done the halls. So yeah, I think it's all original. Each of these walls obviously is a wall to a temple, so there's like another temple complex there. I mean, I think somebody said to me that I think there's 21 temples in the whole complex, but I think that's just the proper sort of big temples with names. There's so many that are just sort of left to ruin. I don't know how many there was in total. And driving around, you can get the idea that it really was like a city. You know, it's not just a few temples. I mean, it's just enormous. I don't know how many people lived here. But yeah, a lot. It's pretty big. So this is the road. You start coming back around. This brings you back around to the entrance of Angkor Wat. And yeah, like I said earlier, you'll see a lot of people just living their normal lives. I think I go past a school in a minute, and there's still more temples just sort of scattered around on the side of the road. I'm just going to drive into one here to give you an idea of what they're like. I mean, this is one of the quieter ones. You just have to show your ticket when you go in. And there's always a sign, it's like a little tombstone, just saying what the temple is. And then, yeah, you can just go in and see it. Most of the roads around here are kind of like this, just big trees either side, and all really sort of, yeah, it's kind of shaded as well, which is nice when you're in the heat. And then you come back around, and this is the Angkor Wat Moat again. So I've kind of done the whole loop, and I'm back around to the moat of Angkor Wat, and you're going to see how big this is just here. I mean, this is just one side of it, and it's enormous. And you see local Cambodians sort of having picnics and things on the side of the moat. And obviously, they can come in for free anytime they want, and might be people that live here or people from Siem Reap. Yeah, it's just a really nice place to visit.
So just then you've seen like a little bit of the mini loop. I don't think I even managed to stay on the mini loop. I think I came off at some point. But yeah, you can tell probably from that, just the size of the place. It really is huge. It's just like so many abandoned like ruins of temples and things. Some haven't even got names, like there's just loads of them, and then the ones that have got names obviously are really spectacular. I mean, temples aren't really my thing. I did a 3-day ticket because I thought I could see how big it was. I thought, well, I'll do a 3-day ticket seeing as I'm here, and it really is stunning, like especially Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat itself is just enormous, but some of the other ones as well. I mean, they're just amazing. But yeah, the thing that got me is the ones that haven't even got names. Like a lot of them really are amazing as well. Just worth having a look around, worth having an explore. I would say the best way to get around the whole place is on a bike, like a push bike, because it's relatively flat. There's hardly any hills. Obviously there's moats everywhere, so it's gonna have to be flat. So yeah, you could get around that way and you won't miss anything. You know, you see everything. If you're really into temples and ruins and things, yeah, push bike is what I would recommend. So yeah, that's a bit of Angkor Wat. You've seen a little bit of it. Yeah, and if you ever get the chance to come, definitely do. It's really nice, and Siem Reap's nice as well. The city is a really good place to come to. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.